Visible or visible band is a band of the electromagnetic EM spectrum that has shorter wavelengths, roughly 380 nanometers or violet, to 750 nanometers or red, but higher energies and higher frequencies, about 430 terahertz or red to 800 terahertz or violet, than those in the infrared band. Basically, the visible band, otherwise known as the visual band, is a band of the electromagnetic spectrum that has shorter wavelengths, higher energies, and higher frequencies than the infrared band. So let's go take a look at this visual wavelength band in the electromagnetic spectrum, which is shown here in this diagram. We circled already the visible or visual wavelength band, the band that our eyes can see in. We see in the colors from red to violet, and that makes up the visible band or the visual wavelength band. Now notice in the definition that we have shorter wavelengths than the infrared band. If we take a look at the radio band, the length of the wave is rather large, but it gets smaller when you get into the microwave and into the infrared. And finally, we get into the visible, it's much smaller. The length between peak to peak is much smaller than in the radio, microwave, or infrared bands. The typical or icon symbol for the typical width of a wave in the visible band is that of a protozoan, which is a single-celled organism. Think of an amoeba. That's about the size of the visible wavelength or the distance from peak to peak. That is the size of a protozoan, could fit in this range between peak to peak. This protozoan size is much smaller than that of the width of a pinhead, which is the length of the wave between the two crests in the infrared band. If we look in terms of frequency, we can see that the numbers are going up. We have a higher frequency, and we're in the tera or 10 to the 12th hertz region of the frequency band. We're in a much higher band than that in the infrared. Therefore, the energy band is much higher as well.